And away we go.
All right, so how's it been?
Productive.
Brother? Okay, yeah, same here. So what's in the news for today?
So, you know the project that we're doing with Shadow Miner?
Oh yeah, I know. Oh yeah, I know of that project. What about it?
Okay, so after years of not being talked about, when I search the Byte app on TikTok, it comes up as search highlights and it gives like a description of what Byte is and the history behind it. It also describes its user experience, and there's a couple of TikTok videos underneath with numbers, which is tagged with the sentence in which it speaks of the aspect of Byte. It's kind of like Google, but
Huh.
with TikTok videos.
Interesting. Huh. Interesting. So wait, people talked about Byte on TikTok?
Well, I haven't seen much videos on TikTok talking about Byte, but quite recently I've seen a video posted 16th of October this year talking about what happened to Byte, and this guy said he described the history of Byte, what happened, and yeah, it's pretty brief, but at least he was talking about Byte and what went on in Byte.
Was
So,
were they talking about? Was this guy a former like Byte user? What
uh,
about it? Huh?
well, I'm not so sure about this guy. I assume he has heard of Byte, but I'm not sure if he was on Byte, if he used Byte, or if we have ever seen him. But he knows about Byte's history and its existence before you know who came along and acquire it.
Did he also talk about the specific people who came and ruined it, or just
No, I don't think he was aware of that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. And was he also aware that they turned Byte into huddles?
Now that's the part that's the part he didn't get into because, well, when he was talking about what happened in Byte, he's saying it as a question, not like, okay, you may be wondering what happened with Byte, so the answer is this and that, and here we are today. He didn't mention that in his video, he just said what happened to Byte as a question.
Ah, okay. So pretty much he didn't really know. He probably knew like some information from the outside, but not so much from the inside.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. So he probably didn't know that they turned into huddles, and then eventually they just. I assume they disbanded because like it's like they abandoned the entire thing as a whole.
Yeah, because like when we talked with Shadow Miner like a year or two ago, extensively in the two-part episode. Generally, the motive behind the Clash team wanting to acquire Byte is basically revenge. I think the people that run Clash, which were former Vine stars, I think you want to get back at the creator of Vine based on the legacy of Vine just before it got shut down. And I think there was some negotiations and deals behind the scenes with Vine before it got shut down, like, well, we'll pay you this much to never speak of it again.
Wait,
And that was it. No one ever spoke of it again.
wait a minute.
And
They acquired Byte to get revenge on Vine,
yes, the people that were running Vine at the time, those were the people that the Clash team wanted to get back at.
and that
And
was
Dom was the closest thing they can get in contact with.
okay. So pretty much they wanted to get revenge on Vine, but they could not get revenge on Vine indirectly. So because Dom was mostly close to them, was the one who was closest to the people who made Vine, they got revenge on him.
Yeah, it seems about right. Like, even though Vine already was done and dusted, and there was not much that the former Vine stars that were part of the Clash team could do anything about, because
So
again, it's legally binding. There was a whole some sort of negotiation that has loads of legal complications that
so
not even I could comprehend, and if it was to go down that territory, who
so
knows
so
what
pre-
heap of mess they could get themselves into.
so pretty much they purposely sabotaged an app for revenge, or were they trying to actually make it great, but they didn't know what they were doing?
Mainly the first part, but I think the second part, what you just said, is also true, but only if you were part of the OG Byte team and the Clash team. I think someone that was part of both the original Byte team, who then transitioned over to the Clash team, they mentioned to me that despite their ill intentions, they know much. The classroom themselves didn't know much about app development to begin with. All they knew is that money's involved and money's essential to keep some things running and the functions of the business. Basically, money what makes the world go round.
Gotcha. So pretty much, they not only knew what they were doing, they not only shot themselves in the foot by even making Clash, but instead they like pulled down their own ship, which was Clash, and then turned it into and then acquired Byte, turned that into Clash, and then they turned it into Huddles. So pretty much, therefore, they had no idea what they were doing, but they knew that they wanted to take down this app because Dom was the closest thing that they could ever get to their revenge.
Yes, that is pretty much it. They wanted to get revenge at the people that once part of the original Vine team. However, they didn't know much about what they were doing in order to get in contact with Dom Hoffman to succeed with their revenge. Although, funnily enough, they got what they wanted, and people of that Clash team have now gone on to do whatever they want to do,
You know
scot-free, and
how
not many people are talking about it.
you know how petty that is?
Very.
You know how time consuming that is just to get revenge? I mean, you gained money, then you lost money, then you gained it again. It's like, bro, it's like, you know how expensive, you know how, like, how much did they even pay for a Byte, first off?
A couple million?
I would assume thousand, million.
Yeah, I looked at a couple sources about Clash acquiring Byte, and the deal was a couple million. Not
That
in the
was,
tens of millions,
okay,
just millions.
okay, first off, that was an expensive way of getting revenge. Like, you know how, bro, who pays for revenge? Who pays to get revenge, bro? You literally lost money so you can take someone else down. That's so stupid.
Well, they only did that if that's the way they could do it.
You could have done anything else. Maybe you could have done anything else with your time. They could have done anything else with their time. They're grown. They're grown men and women. What's the point?
Yeah, like, you gotta let go of the past.
You're in your
Yes, it hurts, but you can't let that get the best of you.
yeah. You're in your sorry, not 20s. You're in your 30s, and probably some of them even 40s. That's just, bro. That's just so petty. It's like, come on, man. I know your glory days was on Vine, and you're upset about it, but it's like, jeez, man. It's like, I'm not gonna lie. What they should have done was try to catapult off of some of the influence that they had. Like, for instance, King Batch and some other people. I forgot their names, but I the only person I know is of King Batch. Okay, actually, no. Logan Paul, Jake Paul. They capitalized off their success on Vine. Now look at them. Like, what they could have easily have done that. They could have went that route, but instead they chose to, like, remain bitter with their social media followings. Like, hold on, you tell me Brandon was the one bitter about Vine too?
What do you mean?
Like, you said they did it for revenge. Did he know about the revenge part? Or, like, was he
You mean Dom Hoffman?
no,
Yeah, I think Brandon knew. It's just that he wasn't primarily much involved or had the balls or stood on his feet to execute with the
pretty
plan,
pretty
even
much he
though he was the CEO of Clash.
yep, okay, so pretty much he didn't have the balls to like, execute it himself. All right. So it's like, he was part of it, but it's like he wasn't heavily involved with it.
No.
Oh,
Although he was in a position where he could have had most of the influence.
gotcha. Okay. So, oh yeah, right. Instead of just whining about, like, instead of them just whining about, like, oh, Vine is shut down, you could have easily done something with your time. You could have easily, I don't know, built up your social media, just like, take it to the chin, build up your social media, and possibly have a decent following enough to make money. You could have even made skits for a little bit of time, or just like transition to YouTube vlogs and all that stuff. But instead, you chose to take your time to get some revenge. Or you could have easily, I don't know, gotten a great job with, like, the experience that you've had with social media work, and, like, like, such as editing or just like doing any of that stuff. But, like, instead, no, you chose to use your years to get revenge. I'm pretty sure they did something with their time. Obviously, clearly that's not all they did, but I'm not gonna lie, this was just petty. Like this is just petty, bro. It's like who is still upset about Vine? It's like, yeah, I get it. Vine was great. I mean, I personally, I don't think I personally had the app on my phone, but yeah, I get it. But I get it. Get it. Vine was great. Vine had its time, but it's like, bro, really? You're upset about that? You're upset. You're still upset about that. I mean, unless you can somehow bring it back, then like, bro, stop being upset about it. It's the past, man. I get it. It was great times, but it's like, bro, you gotta move on. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's just sad.
It sure is.
Yeah, but like for the most part, I mean, I wonder what they're doing now, though. I really do.
Yeah. I remember looking at Corey, who was, well, I've talked to him most of the time, and he was a communicator, community manager at some point in Clash's time. I think last time I checked his LinkedIn, he was working at some media technology company. I forgot what the name was or the sector it's in.
Um,
But
who?
Corey got some experience out of Clash and used it towards getting the job that he wanted.
Okay, well at least he's doing something.
Yeah,
But still very expensive. Still very expensive. A very expensive way to get revenge, though. It's dumb. Yeah,
yeah,
and it's just a waste of time, bro. Like it honestly is. But it is what it is. Though they're doing their own thing now. I don't really know. I personally don't know what they're doing. But except like other than Corey, but other than that, it's like it is what it is, though. Anyways,
it,
is there anything? What were you gonna say?
yeah. I was gonna check to see what else is in the news. Yes. This came as a surprise to me this evening. Kamala, no surprise, is considering 2028 presidential run.
Of course she is. So, what do you think about it? Do you think she's gonna win, lose, draw? Like, what's gonna happen? I mean, like, is it gonna be like? I'm not gonna lie. She has okay. I will say this. She has years to prepare. She has years to get rid of whatever shivers she has now. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. If she's still the same in 2028, like if she's still the same as bad as she if she's still as bad in 2028 as she was now, then like bro, she has no chance. She has no shot in winning.
Yeah,
Like honestly, because it's like I don't know. She has a good 4 years to get rid of whatever shivers she has now.
indeed.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, if The Simpsons taught me anything, and I knew, and well, what I knew about The Simpsons is exactly what I'm certain about what's going to happen in 2028. Just because Kamala Harris didn't win against Trump doesn't mean she won't be president at all.
That's
And
true.
also, based off The Simpsons prediction, associating Lisa Simpson with Kamala Harris, who's to say Kamala would be the first female president? What if it isn't Kamala, but it is a woman president for the Democrats?
Imagine if they went out of the way. Like, imagine if they either had Michelle Obama or some anybody. Like, I'll be honest. You're right. It could legitimately be any woman, whether it be from the Democratic side or the Republican side. Really.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
I mean, like at the end of the day, it's like man, it's like I would say like both Democrats and Republicans are controlled in their own ways. I mean, yeah, there's a side that seems good, but in reality, it's like they tolerate degeneracy, and it's like it's like one side, like both sides to an extent tolerate degeneracy in a way, and it's just detrimental to the country entirely. And I'm always gonna say this, man. It's like, look, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you could, yeah. There's a guy who sounds good, but in reality, it's like they're controlled opposition. I don't really trust any of the candidates. I don't, because it's like, look, yeah, sure, Trump seems like the saving grace, but I know he's probably gonna do something. I know he's probably gonna do something that everyone disagrees with, even the Republicans, unless
Yeah,
yeah, like he's gonna do something. Like, I mean, I know everything seems good now. I know everything seems great now. You're having pride in your next president. With the Trump shirts, with the Trump dances. Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun in games. The dance is catchy, and with the song, but it's like, bro, he's gonna do something that you hate. He's gonna do something that you disagree with. Yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, you're having pride for him right now, which, by the way, I'm not gonna lie, isn't really that brave. It's not brave. I mean, yeah, at one point it seemed brave to have pride in Trump and like supporting Trump, but now that we know what we know, now that we know that he's controlled opposition, is it really that brave to just say, "Yeah, Trump is my president"? Okay, who cares? I don't care who your president is. It could be even be Kamala Harris. It's not brave. Like you're not brave. It's like you're not saying you're not preaching the gospel. You're not saying Jesus is my Lord and Savior, bro. It's not brave. That's what I consider brave. It's like when you're getting laughed at constantly and you're still preaching the gospel. That's what I consider brave.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like even if you're getting spit on, even if you're getting like screamed at and all that, that's brave. Like you just getting you just get like getting like heckled by a liberal because you support Trump. It's not brave. Matter of fact, yeah, I will. Yeah, it's like I said before. It was considered brave at one point, but it's like so many people are doing it now, and it's like okay, it's just annoying. I mean, I don't hate Trump, but I'm just saying, bro, it's no longer brave. It's like, all right, if I say I support Trump, all I'm really gonna get from some people is like, why do you support that guy? Yada yada yada. He went to jail. He was an R worder. That's all I'm gonna get. It's not like I'm gonna get killed for it. Who cares? Kamala. Either way, it's like you'll get accepted by some parts of society, but people seem to think that they know what people want, but in reality, they don't know what people want. But yeah, for the most part. Dang, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about again?
Buggers.
I know I was talking about not supporting Trump being brave. I'm trying to figure out what the main gist of what we were talking about was. Like I know we were talking about the presidents and the
Yeah,
election.
2028 presidential run. Kamala's making considerations.
We're gonna go. All right, so back to that. The point is, it's like it could be any woman really. Oh yeah, right. The main topic was like pretty much both sides being corrupted in their own way, shape, or form, and tolerating degeneracy. That was the main like thing. So yeah, it's like I just don't trust any side because it's like each side is gonna have something that you agree with and something that you disagree with. So it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, which side do you want to be on? And the answer is neither. I don't like any of them. I'm not gonna support Trump. I'm not gonna be a diehard Trump supporter, but I'm also not gonna be a diehard Kamala supporter. For one, it's Trump's last 4 years, and two, it's like, bro, it's like, what do I look like? I think people who are constantly just prepping Trump up like he's this mighty prophet of God, or just God himself, are fools. It's like, yeah, he can make some things happen, but it's like, bro, he's not a mighty prophet. He's not a mighty prophet from God. He's not, and like I do have my questions about the shooting now too. Was it staged? Was it just something to make Trump look tough? Fight, fight, fight. Like, was it like Obviously, if it was a legitimate shooting, then okay, fine. But in the back of my head, it's like, was it this? Could this have possibly been staged so that it can make Trump look good? But at the same time, they said a fighter fire did die that day. So I will like say it with caution. And if a fighter actually did die, then like may God rest his soul. But it's like it's a bit fishy. And I don't really blame half the people for coming out and saying. Obviously, like there are people who are biased against Trump, and there are people who are neutral. So it's like was it faked? Was it just to make him look like this mighty savior of America? Like
Yeah, it could be anything.
yeah. But I guess we'll never really find out. Actually, we probably will. Because the truth always comes to light. So if it was an actual shooting, then nothing new will pop to the surface. But obviously, if it was staged, it will pop to the surface. Even probably after his run as president, it will probably pop to the surface. But then again, things pop to the surface relatively quickly nowadays because of technology, because of the advances that we have now in our modern society. So I'll just be waiting for that news. But yeah, it's like I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Kamala Harris supporter. I really support no one. And Kennedy, it's like, okay, even to an extent, he's probably controlled opposition. Now, I mean, like, he's working with Trump, and I'm pretty sure he's working closely with the people who are in charge, the globalists, you know? But,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so it's like, you can't really trust any of them. Not even J.D. Vance. I mean, people didn't trust him coming in, so, but, Then again, when you align yourself with Trump, it's like the Republicans are like, yeah, J.D. Vance. Even though I probably would have thought that RFK Jr. would have been a great option. You know, he would have been a great option for a vice president. But hey, he's working. Hey, he's has a job. He's taking care of his kids. He's taking care of himself. So that's all that's important. He has a job. But yeah, it's like I
Indeed.
I just don't think, me personally, I would meet them. I would shake their hand. I'd be like, okay, yeah, it's nice to meet you. But as far as, it's tough because I don't think I would. I don't know, man. I could be friends with them if I knew them in real life, but I don't know, if they went against everything that I stood for. I'd have to pull out, no matter how much it cost me. But hey, I will say this though: although I don't support Kamala Harris, good luck to her in 2028 though if she actually runs. I'll be waiting to see. I'll be waiting to see how good or bad her campaign is. Same with the other candidate, whichever candidate runs in 2028 for the Republican Party. Luck be on their side. May the Lord be on their side. And whether if they do good or bad, I will be watching, and I will be seeing, and I'll just be like, seeing which one is the best candidate. And, well, frankly, and maybe if they impress me, then I will probably vote for one of them. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm not voting for anybody in 2024. I'm 22 now. I'm probably going to be somewhere between 25 and 26, or 26 years old. So, yeah, I'll be like, just, I'll be older, but I'm probably still not going to support any of them. But anyways,
Yes.
what else in the news?
The new Eurovision odds just dropped after weeks of absence.
Wow, really?
Yep.
Huh. Wow. That's definitely something. Like, tell me more about it.
All right. So I think we talked about Eurovision before, have we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, now that you say it again, yeah, I definitely do know we talked about Eurovision.
Yeah. All right. So the Eurovision betting odds is determining which country is most likely to win this year's Eurovision. As of now, it says Belgium are likely to win, even though they haven't started their national selection yet, which is the process of choosing their artist and their song for them to submit to compete in this year's Eurovision.
Interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to, like, seeing, like, how far they go.
Yeah,
And for the most part, it's like, for the most part, personally me, I really have, like, no comment on it. I just want to see, like, what go like, how they do it, and, like, how it's supposed to how they're supposed to, not supposed to, like, how they do it.
absolutely.
But what
Well,
up?
either them or Sweden, which, although no surprise, Sweden very good at Eurovision for whatever reason. Well, I know what the reason is. It's Melody Festival, which is their national selection, and that national selection process has better equipment than Eurovision itself. People consider Melody Festival as the mini Eurovision, but yeah, it's a Eurovision on its own. So that's something to consider.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm not gonna lie. The anti, Not gonna lie. I just heard some news. The anti-Semite of the Year award goes to Candace Owens.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, but not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. Am I the only one who's getting bored? Who's getting bored of the whole JQing thing? I mean, at first, like, when it first started, it was cool, but it's like, now it's like, okay, we get it. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing, like, personally, me, and I know Risk is probably would disagree with me on this. It's like, it turned from exposing the global people, exposing the people from, like, the top, to just being flat out racist. Honestly, it's like I get it. It's like I get it. It's like, because I saw this one YouTuber is like, it's like, if you want to say that what their ethnicity is, and that's cool. But it's like you gotta call out names specifically. I mean, do you?
Exactly.
It's like, do you know any specific names? I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, sure, you can call them out for being Jewish, but it's like if you're just specifically attacking them for being Jewish, it's like, all right, it's like it's whatever. I mean, I get it's like because it's like I don't know. It's like you hear the same thing from like people, and it's like okay, what else? It's like who are these people specifically? I mean, even Risk says their names. I mean, he says their names. I can't say it's Risk. I'm saying like it's like bigger people. They're calling out like people. Okay, who are the people? What's their names? And if they happen to be Jewish, and I'm like, all right, you have a point, but it's just dumb to me at least. It's just dumb, and plus it's getting a little old. It's great to make like the occasional joke. It's funny, but and depending on who you're talking to, it could be funny. But at the end of the day, it's kind of dumb to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but what? But anyways, what else in the news?
Klarna's CEO says it stopped hiring thanks to AI, but still advertises many open positions.
Okay, I wonder why they they stopped hiring due to OpenAI,
No, it's just artificial intelligence in general.
like artificial intelligence in general.
Yeah, because the
Hmm.
thing is, artificial intelligence is becoming so advanced, people thought, could this actually do the job for us? Can we not have humans doing this anymore? But then you
Um,
have to realize if every business and every CEO has this kind of mindset, where are we gonna go? What are we gonna do?
you
Are
know,
we gonna set up our own companies using the same AI that every other company's using? It's just there is no other opportunity for people to contribute to society. It's just computers and generative intelligence just doing the work that we are doing it, but at a faster rate. And because of that, people believe that AI is a viable replacement for humans. But no, AI is smart enough to help train the humans, us, to do the job as efficiently as the AI can. That should be the case. It shouldn't replace the people that's already working there, because if all businesses start using AI, then what purpose do we have? We're just going to be sitting at home doing nothing.
yeah,
Maybe we may end up homeless because we're not being paid to do whatever job we were doing now. But since we've been let go because of AI is doing a better job than we are doing,
I would
what?
assume that they'll pay us
Yeah,
to just sit home. I'm gonna be honest with you, like, cause if AI is gonna be doing our jobs, is like, how are we supposed to pay the bills? I assume that they'll just pay us to like sit home and just be lazy. When at least that's what I assume. I don't know if they're actually gonna do that, but you're absolutely right. If they don't do that, then yeah, like we're gonna be homeless then. We're gonna be fat, and it's like we're not really gonna be doing anything. It's like we can't really let this stuff take our jobs. We can't really let this open AI take our jobs because like at the end of the day, you know, we're not going to be doing anything. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, it's like technology. Yeah, it can. The more advanced it can get, the more flawed it's bound to get. Also, it's like ultimately speaking, it's like, look, why would you want technology doing all this stuff for you? I mean, yeah, sure, it's a pain to get up early to do this stuff, but ultimately speaking, it gives most people purpose. I mean, like other than like obviously worshiping God, it's like it gives the regular person purpose. I mean, you know, because it's like, do people really want to just sit at home all day? Like, shoot. At times, I don't even want to sit at home all day. But at the same time, like at times I would rather work. But you know, it's hard. It's hard to get work. It's hard to get a job. No matter, it's hard to get a job. Even if you apply all the time and do many interviews, it's hard to get a job, a full time job as well. But part like either part time or just temporary is probably easier to get. But yeah, it's just hard to get it. Especially, it's hard to get a job. It gives a lot of people purpose in life. It makes them feel useful. no matter how terrible the job is, it makes people feel useful. So therefore, if you get rid of jobs, it's like, you're not only going to get rid of people's motivation to be useful, but you're also going to get rid of their, you're also going to kill their hardworking drive. But at the same time, I don't believe that can be all the way killed. Yeah, sure, you can be lazy and fat, but deep down, you would still want to do something to contribute to society, even if it is just donating to a charity. So, yeah, it's like, for the most part. Yeah, I do hope that AI does not take every job. I know it can't take every job. Come
No,
on.
no, it can't.
Yeah, it can't take every job. I mean, like, at best, it's like it can't, like, it probably could. Okay.
Well, we haven't got that yet.
Yeah. We haven't got that yet. It can't do, it can't do manual, well, it could, but, you need a human to, like, kind of operate those machines, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, but, I have no doubt that we're gonna somewhat get there, even if it's one by one. I mean, I don't want to get there for the sake of the people. I don't want to get there, but we're gonna get there. I just want people to be able to have a job to go to every single day. I mean, shoot. I mean, even in a relationship too, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So it's like, look, the man needs to go out and do his job, and like so his wife can at least miss him. I mean, if he's at home all day, then it's like, okay, you won't you won't be able to miss the guy. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah. So I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, I know we're gonna get there eventually, but we're not there yet. Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there eventually, but for the most part, and I can't say that I have faith that we could stop it. What I've noticed online is that, like, a lot of people have faith. It's like, yeah, we could stop it. We could stop it, but you're not stopping it. What exactly are you doing? It's like I see all these social media posts, and I'm like, yeah, we should do something about it. But, like, bro, people aren't gonna rise up and, like, do anything about it. They're just gonna complain online because most people feel accepted. Yeah, they want to feel like they're doing something, but in reality, they're doing absolutely nothing. We're intrinsically lazy. Yeah, sure, some of us will probably do the hard parts and go out and do the hard work and, like, even protest. But nothing is going to change because we're not writing the story here. Unless, now, can we change the story? Yes, we can. But ultimately speaking, that part of the story is probably going to get written eventually. Even if it's delayed for a couple of years, it's going to get written eventually. We're not writing the story here. I'm not saying it's useless to try to do something about it. It's definitely not. Like I say in terms of, like, stuff like, abortion, yeah, it's not useless to do anything about it, but I'm saying, like, if these are problems that you truly care about, then you will rise up and do something about it. Obviously, like, there would be slow progress in certain areas, and in other areas there will be no progress, maybe for probably a couple years. But, you know, I'm speaking in general, not in, like, a specific area, though, because it's like, no matter what we do, they've written the history already. They've written it down. They have a plan. Even if they have to delay it for a couple years because an uprising happened, it'll still be written. But
Yeah.
but I can't. But I'm not gonna say it's all useless. It's not. Definitely putting the word out there so that you can have other people so you can find like-minded people who will do something about it with you, will help you. But we all are intrinsically lazy. It's just the fact of the matter is, like, you got to get over that and do something about it. And that can go for any movement, whether if it's like, that can go for any movement, whether if it's like, BLM, a white supremacist, neo Nazis, or just anything. It can go for any movement. I would say with those movements, like, it can probably make some change, but it can't make, like, a worldwide change, because it's like, Nazis are just like, groups are racist. It can be any group, whether it be black, white, Asian, Hispanic, like, a supremacist of, like, any specific group or race, are not going to make a worldwide change, especially if it's biased towards, like, other people. But a positive change will make a difference. I can see, like, society shifting if, like, for the most part, like, people are to agree on this thing. But at the end of the day, there are always going to be naysayers out there. There are always going to be people who go on one side and the other side. And, well, I would say like you have to take it. I would say like if you really want change in terms of like either laws or just in general, you have to take it up with the state. You have to take it up with the highest, with the highest in this world, and that is well, unfortunately, the government, the state. Like if you really want to see change, but
Yeah.
your voice alone, it will not make that. It will make some change. It'll make some noise, but you really got to put in the work, even if it's paperwork, to make that change happen. Even if it's one name at a time. But that's how I feel about it.
One at a time.
Yeah. So I can't say it's all useless. It's not. But some things are not worth talking for, and other things are worth talking for. Like for instance, what I said abortion, that's worth talking for because it's an innocent life getting taken away by someone by the hands of the parent who chose to make that decision. That's it. Is there anything else in the news?
Found something very, very eerie.
What is it?
So here's a listen. So the two questions is Luigi Maglione and P Diddy. Just to give you some context, like the video is about the two lawyers, one of each representing Luigi and P Diddy respectively.
Yeah, I've heard of. Oh yeah, I've heard of Luigi. He killed someone apparently.
Yeah, he shot the CEO of United Healthcare, which is like the company that's responsible for health insurance for Americans. The reason why people are celebrating Luigi's attempt to take down United Health CEO is because that company has allegedly, from what I've heard, uh, denied health insurance claims for Americans to get the money to fund crucial surgeries and other healthcare related stuff in the United States. And
You,
people had enough of that.
you know what's crazy?
But
I've seen girls online calling this man cute.
well, I'm not surprised. Of course, it was going to come to that point eventually.
Yeah, and I saw this one picture of this girl. She was quote tweeting about the news of Luigi, and she was arched back. She was just arched back, and I'm like, really? I mean, come on, bro. It's like you guys are just twisted. But at the end of the day,
What's the need to mention that?
huh?
What's the need for them to say something like that?
I don't know.
What do they gain from saying something like that? It's not going to blow up overnight. People aren't going to be talking about it. Well, other than the fact Luigi killed the CEO of a health insurance company.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing is really gonna happen from it. But what about? I thought you were gonna say something like Pete Diddy and Luigi were like in the same.
Oh yeah, I was going to play a video about the lawyers that are representing the two.
Oh, okay.
These two may have more in common than just being behind bars. Yeah, their lawyers are married. So the woman that is representing Luigi Mangione is Karen Friedman Agnifilo, and her husband is representing P. Diddy. His name is Mark Agnifilo.
Wow. So they're both lawyers and they're both representing. Wow.
Yeah,
That is very coincidental.
it sure is.
That's actually a huge coincidence, man. I didn't even know that.
Well, now you do.
Although I will say this, if she's good enough, Luigi will probably get less time in prison.
It's going to be a stretch, but
I'm
anything's possible.
I don't know, but he did legitimately kill someone. So you know, I can't say that he will, but who knows? And miracles are definitely real. So let's see if a miracle happens with Luigi. Although once again, bro, it's like the dude. I just personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care about Luigi. I don't care. I don't care about his case. I don't even care about what he did. Actually, no, I do care about what he did because he took a life. I say no matter how much you disagree with the guy, like you shouldn't take another man's life.
Yeah.
I mean, you should do something about it. I don't think killing him is not going to change anything. Like, bro, killing a man is not going to change anything.
Like, yeah, I get the guy is running a company responsible for health insurance and has denied millions of claims each year, which everyone has every right to be mad about. However, that does not justify unaliving that person's life just because he was the one behind the ropes of denial of claims.
Now,
Like
yeah,
anyone that has that kind of mentality or has said anything like this, they are no better than the CEO himself.
exactly. And it's like now that's a change that you can definitely make. Like, bro, why didn't you just boycott, like, his company? Like, boycott, like, rise up, boycott him, or just get the guy fired. Now, wouldn't wish anybody to get fired, but if he's denying millions of claims, then yes, like, look, then yeah, he deserves it then, because it's like,
Yeah,
then it's like, I'm pretty sure there are many people out there who actually need that health insurance, and you're denying them. Now, I'm not gonna, I don't wish the guy to get fired. I'd obviously want him to find a different venture, but yeah, if you're denying people that right, especially if they need it, then yeah, no, you deserve to get fired. I mean, like, that's really all that. Or you should be downgraded to another position in the company.
hmm
But yeah, it's like, for the most part, I'd say, like, yeah, killing him was definitely not the answer, because nothing is gonna change from him dying.
Then get other than giving attention to the company in question.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. You're just gonna give attention to the company more, and on top of that, he probably has, like, what's that? What do they call them? Like, it's a word that I'm trying to, like. It's not obsessor. It's like, it's a word, like, he probably successor. Yes, that's the word, successor.
Yeah,
He probably has a successor who has the same ideas as him, so nothing is really gonna change. You
yeah,
could have easily boycotted them. Then if you went to jail for that, then fine. Okay. Don't kill the guy. It's dumb. And as for P. Diddy, well, he's gonna get what he deserves,
exactly. Yeah,
he's gonna get what he deserves, bro. The
his time has come.
Yeah, I mean, like, he thought he was unstoppable for so many years. I heard that he tried to kill Jamie Foxx, poison Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx snitched on it. Shoot, I'm surprised that's the thing that took him down. The fact that he tried to poison someone, and then the guy who he tried to poison snitched on him. I'm surprised that's what took Diddy down.
I'm actually shocked by that too.
Kind of a sad way to go down. But that's an extremely sad way to go down. But he went down. That's the point. That's the good part. He went down. Now, do I want him to die? No. Do I want him to get
Yeah,
his just desserts? Yes, I do. Not violently, but just with a lifelong prison sentence, because he did this he's been doing this for years. Yeah, it's like, I'd like him to get a lifelong prison sentence. I don't know, like Jared Fogle him, something. Down. Actually, no. Minimum 90 years. 90 years is fine. It's pretty much be dead by the time 90 years comes along, but or before 90 years is up. But other than that, it's like, look, man. I mean, all I gotta say is this, man. He'll get he's getting his just desserts, and, like, the devil turned his back on him. The devil simply turned his back on him. It's like, he uses people like that for, for his sick and twisted ways. And then when he sees no use for you anymore, he turns his back on you. But yeah, you know, Diddy
yeah.
was never really the biggest fan of the guy, anyways.
Neither was I.
I mean, what did he really do? Was he a rapper? Was he a producer? What did he do?
I think he was a rapper slash music artist. He did release music at some point.
I thought so.
Yeah, it felt like it.
Okay. Okay. Got you. So, is there anything else in the news?
Brazilian President Lula discharged from hospital after brain surgery.
Huh. Brain surgery. Wow.
Well, more specifically, brain bleeding.
Oh, wow. Wow. It is what?
I'm not sure. It doesn't go specifically into that. However, the reports are saying that Lula is fine. He is in good health to return to presidential duties.
Wow. Shit, that's intense. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
bro. Brain surgery. I'll be honest. I wonder how that does work. It's like, I wonder how does brain surgery exactly work?
Well, firstly, you have to carefully cut, like, not just the skin, but you need to cut, like, the opening of your head so the surgeons can take or handle the brain of some sort, and at least look at the brain. Well, first thing you need to know is how you're gonna cut someone's head open so you could view and look at what someone's brain is looking like at the moment. And of course, the thing is, I'm not some biological expert, but I do know that there has to be some kind of I don't want to say bodily fluids, but I think that's the closest thing to describe. But there has to be some kind of cells or fluids within the body that keeps parts of our body replenished, refreshed, and not go into gradual decay over
I think
time
I think I do
if
understand.
exposed to oxygen.
I think I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I understand. Like pretty much is like brain surgery is pretty much you have to be delicate with the brain, otherwise it's like everything can mess up, and especially with the bodily fluids that are in your head. Correct?
Yes, the fluids within your body.
Yeah. Okay, man. So I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just thinking to myself, like, can there be like a part of your brain that's like broken, and then like it's like it's kind of like that's kind of like ripped or teared, or just like pretty much a chunk of your brain missing is what I'm trying to say. And is there coming back from that, or can you just?
Well, I think it is possible to live life with parts of your brain missing, although you can't just live without having a brain to think functionally about your surroundings. I think what comes down to living mainly comes down to the heart, because the heart is what is the part of your body that pumps your blood across the entire system. If anything happens to your heart, then that is when your life is completely at risk.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, okay, yeah, I understand. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I would say like you can definitely live life with like without without a chunk of your brain. It's just that you'll probably just have certain like disadvantages. That sounds like it would be a challenge, but but like other than that, it's like as long as you still get to live, that's fine. But is there anything else in the news?
Yes, boy.
What is it?
South Korean leaders seek calm after Yoon is impeached.
Wait, hold on. Say that one more time.
South Korean leaders seek calm after Yoon is impeached.
Huh? Why did he get impeached for?
Have you heard what was going on in South Korea the last time you've heard about it? Okay, so basically, a couple of weeks ago, Yoon, the Prime Minister of South Korea, law.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, and because of that, the South Korean people and the South Korean politicians, they were not so happy about it. So collectively, they tried to vote whilst there was military men and women guarding the parliament building to prevent parliamentary leaders trying to vote against the martial law. Well, that didn't go so well. They've successfully voted against the martial law. So South Korea is back to functioning as a nation as it did before. And now the politicians of South Korea are now saying, get this guy out. We do not like that one bit. He needs to go.
Well, I'm gonna say may like may the Lord be with him in his future endeavors, and I gotta say like whatever he chooses to pursue next, like I hope he finds like great success in. I'll be honest, since I'm not there, I don't really have further comment about it. But like for the most part, if whatever he was doing was bad for like the country entirely, then like look, man, then yeah, he deserves to be impeached. But obviously, yeah, the people aren't gonna agree on things that they don't want, and if they didn't want that, then yeah, shoot, then yeah, he got impeached. He got what he got, like exactly. Whether if he deserved that is up to the people and up to his countrymen. But at the end of the day, it's like I wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. I really do. Honestly, that's really all you can do is wish people the best of luck in their future endeavors. I obviously wish nothing. I don't wish the worst on him. I wish nothing but the best, and because that's all you can do. And yeah, for the most part, once again, many success stories be in his way and in his future. No matter how much you disagree with the guy, or no matter how much you hate the guy, he's at the end of the day, how long was he leader for?
I'm not sure. I've only heard about the South Korean leader just because of him enacting martial law.
Okay, got you. So I will say this, for the most part, however long he was leader for, his leadership skills will definitely be great in another area of life, but clearly not in this one. So I wish him nothing but the best. Yeah. That's all I can do. So is there anything else in the news?
Do kids belong at breweries?
No.
Social media users debate the hot issue.
Wait, at breweries?
Yeah, breweries.
Like place where you drink beer, or
No, the place where beer is made.
No. How's that even a debate? No.
That is so stupid.
How is that even news? No. Do kids belong at breweries? No.
No! No! Oh, that is outrageous.
What kind of it's not even thought provoking.
Uh,
Stupid.
this is literally rage bait.
It really is, though.
Yeah.
Is it on a website, or is is it a social media post and people commented on it?
I've seen two sources saying that. Uh, hold on. I was just read one of the articles. Two kids belong at breweries. My gosh, good grief. With the rise of craft brewing and breweries across America, a question has arisen frequently: should kids be present at breweries? A TikTok video shared in 2024 went viral after user Clarice Burkett asked others if the primary source of income for the business is an age-restricted product. Why? Burke, who lives in Florida, said she understands that some breweries cater to more of a familial setting. It refers to something about family.
That's still stupid.
Yeah. She said, however, that as a patron, she would know about this beforehand and would expect to see children or would avoid those establishments. This, however, is not always the case. I'm going to use a real-life example, she said. She said, there is a brewery near her with a great outdoor space. So naturally, I asked the bartender if they had any yard games. She said. She looked at me and said, we did have cornhole, but we no longer have it because the kids destroy it.
I understand. I do. Jeez.
Not everything is for everyone.
Yeah, sorry. No, sorry. I was looking at a flag. I'm like, it's dark green, medium green, light green, white, bluish, purple, and black. I'm trying to wonder what kind of flag is that. Anyways, I'll look into that later. But yeah.
Also, the source says, only does beer taste great, there are health benefits associated with it, too, expert says.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'm not so sure about beer, but I've looked up I've looked up that there are some health benefits with wine, because
Yeah,
I know that there's some health benefits with wine.
yeah, fair enough.
Because it's I've looked at, because it's I've read I read a chapter in the Bible, and it said something along the lines with helping it cure infirmities, and I'm like, huh, really? So I looked it up myself, and I'm like, huh, okay. Now beer, I'm not sure, but it's still not an excuse to have kids around it, though.
Yeah, the news article I was looking at is, I wouldn't say misleading. It's just how they're saying it. It just the dots are just not connecting properly as I thought it would.
It's not.
So
Yeah,
all I will say is this: don't let kids drink any alcohol. Wait till they're old enough to cope with the effects of it. And yeah,
I think no matter.
some things are meant to be separate, and This, in particular, is certainly one of them that should be separate from one another.
I personally think no matter how old you get, bro, you're never gonna truly be able to like cope with it. But
Yeah.
I mean, beer really just helps people just to forget their days and their lives, and yeah, that's what most people drink beer for, to just forget everything. I mean, or just to have a good time. Some people who won't even be, some people aren't even depressed. They just want to get drunk. But hey, yeah, you should really just keep that stuff away from kids. I mean, like, shoot. I mean, I know we have medical marijuana also, but just because it's medical marijuana doesn't mean that it's necessarily always good to use. And like, some people, like, say it's good for you. Oh, like, God made weed. And I'm like, okay, did he tell you to abuse it? Because that's exactly what people are doing. It's like people aren't using it for medical reasons. They're using it to, like, they're using it to, like, feel like, something, like their pleasures, like, fulfill, like, a pleasure that, like, they get from smoking weed. It's like these stuff can be used for good. Even alcohol, once again, can be used for good. I mean, shoot, we have rubbing alcohol for crying out loud. But it's like, it's just that, like, bro, the problem is, like, people pervert this stuff and make it look bad. There are many bad things that can be used for good. But
Yeah.
but it's just like, it's because, like, people have made it look bad, it's deemed as bad. That's the problem.
True.
Like, yeah, I'll be honest, I have no problem with people drinking a little bit of alcohol, as long as you don't get yourself drunk. It's one thing, yeah. If you're on a like dinner date, then yeah, like, just have one cup of wine and just call it a night. I mean, don't get to the point where it's like, you're drunk and just fumbling all over the place. Don't get to the point where you're just a drunken mess and you're just fumbling all over the place, and then you have a headache waking up, and then you have a hangover. Yeah, like, drink a little bit of wine, and, like, obviously to the point where you're at least still able to get home. Maybe even drive if actually, no, don't drive. Don't drive. But it's like, if you're making the money, get an Uber, get home, then go to sleep. Just, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we should regulate that, but it's like, most people won't agree with it. But I'll probably get into that a little bit later on in my actual life, and see how you know it can be regulated. But at the same time, we'll see. But yeah,
Chelsea.
but the point I'm trying to make is, like, look, this stuff can be used for good, but it's deemed as bad because people abuse this stuff. Just like people abuse, like, prescription drugs. It's like drugs can be used for good. I know that, but people abuse it. There are homeless people who in New York who abuse it. There are homeless people who, yeah, there are homeless people who abuse that type of stuff. There are homeless people. There are even not homeless people who abuse that stuff. There are, like, people in general who abuse these things that are supposed to be, that could be good. But yeah, it's like, the point is that don't abuse this stuff. If you're gonna use it responsibly. Use it for good. And if wine can actually treat infirmities, only use it for that. But that's it. And I mean, if you're gonna go out a night on the town, then okay, cool. But don't drink too much wine to the point where you're just a fumbling mess.
Indeed.
If I were to drink wine, it's like, I don't know, I just wouldn't get drunk. And if I were to drink wine, it'd probably be in the confines of my own house, while I'm watching a movie. So pretty much that sounds like a single housewife who has the house to herself. That sounds like a single housewife who has the house to herself for the night.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, with the kids being at their friend's house. Now all I'd be missing is an ice cream and, like, a romantic, like a rom-com.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
But not gonna lie, I kind of do. I like. I actually do like rom coms, so that wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
me too.
Yeah, that wouldn't necessarily be a punishment. But yeah, it's like, I've said what I said. It is what it is, though. Is there anything else?
Roy Keane embarrassed as Kyle Walker sparks controversy in Manchester Derby.
Oh wow, really?
Yes. So, for anyone that doesn't know football, soccer, as of this recording tonight, the Manchester Derby happened, which is like Manchester United against Manchester City, which is two clubs within Manchester. Every time they compete against each other, there's always drama going on, and And no matter how good which of the Manchester team does, uh, one of us is bound to step up and just give the win away to the other Manchester club. And yeah, I never thought I'd see the day that Manchester United actually have won their Manchester derby, especially with their new manager, Ruben Amorim. The last time a manager wins their first ever Manchester derby was Sir Alex Ferguson, which was in the history of football, one of the greatest managers to have ever managed the game. And then all the other managers after him, after Sir Alex Ferguson, they failed to win their first ever Manchester derby. But until tonight, the new manager, Ruben Amorim, has actually won his first ever Manchester derby. So, wow, so much theatrics in football, soccer, and so much yet to come.
Yeah, that's true. That's that, and that's yeah, it's great to hear. For the most part, I wish them nothing but the absolute best. I really do.
Me too.
All right.
But of course, it's not looking good for Manchester City. The last few years, they've been pretty much on top of the game. They've always won back-to-back titles. They even won. Many people describe Man City as the greatest club in the world, but I'm not sure if that is true this year after winning it last year. Like they've lost more games than many football fans ever expected. And actually, San Marino, the worst national football association in the world, has won more matches than Manchester City, who's constantly winning matches game night in, night out. So that is shocking. To have lost more matches and won less matches for a club that's described as the best club in the world to the worst national team in the world, only winning 2 matches in all of November, that is shocking. But yeah, that's football soccer for you. Are you still there, Eric? Bugger. Eric's having connection problems. I wonder if he's gonna come back. But yeah, are you still there, Eric?
Can you hear me?
Yahoo!
Okay.
Hello!
Okay. Sorry.
Big summer blowout.
Can you hear me?
Dang, that's something, alright. I don't know what caused the fuss, but yeah, here we are. Oh, hello. What happened there, mate?
Yeah. Sorry. Someone called. Someone called me.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah. It's like yeah. For the most part. What were we talking about again?
The Manchester Derby. Man United has won over Man City. First ever Derby win for a new manager after Sir Alex Ferguson, which many people describe as one of the greatest managers to ever manage the game.
Oh. Okay. Wow.
And Man City were expected to win the title for this year, but they've lost a couple more matches quite
Wait.
recently, and
So you said
it's
they
gotten
had.
so bad that the worst national team in the world has won 2 more matches than the best football club in the world. That is
Wait. Hold on. So the best football club in the world had the best. You said the best manager in the world, right?
right now, that's Manchester City. I'm talking about Manchester United having the best manager that the game has ever managed. Sir
Oh.
Alex
Okay.
Ferguson.
Oh. Okay. Got you. And they lost. And they lost to the worst team in the league.
I wouldn't say the worst team. What I said was that in the month of November, the worst national team, San Marino, have won more matches than Manchester City, who is described at the moment the best football club in the world.
Got you. Got you. Okay. I understand now. I do. Huh. Wow. That's
Yeah,
I hope that they can turn it around. I really do.
yeah. I'm not sure if that's the case because on top of that, Man City also have 130 charges against them for something about financial discrepancies. So there's actually a court case going on with Manchester City, and if they're found guilty on most of them, they're going to be given loads and loads of point deductions. It may result in them being relegated from the top flight, the first division, down to the third division. And this is where all the not so good performing clubs compete at. And also, if that's the case, Man City's best players, who are paid roughly £400,000 a week, that's a lot of money. Those players may have to be transferred and play at another club, maybe outside of England. Because if Manchester City are relegated a couple of divisions down, the TV revenue they currently get, that's the reason why they managed to get the best players. If they get TV revenue from the third division, which is way less, a lot of Manchester City's best players may have to transfer to other clubs who will meet with their wage demands. So, yeah, it's a lot to take in. I'm not sure how much of an impact that would make.
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. But it's probably bound to make some sort of impact. In other news, let me check. In other news, apparently two half-naked Ukrainian activists damaged a broken chair.
Yes, I've heard about that. And actually, I remember this summer that for this year, I've actually visited Switzerland. I did tell you about my time in Switzerland and actually got to see the Broken Chair Monument and the United Nations headquarters in Geneva.
Yeah, not gonna lie, they were half naked. They were half naked. They were half. They were half naked, and it's like they. I can't even say they damaged it, bro. It's like they couldn't even work. They couldn't even work a chainsaw.
Dang.
No, if you watch the video, it's like they legitimately were having trouble working a chainsaw, and I'm like, really? Like you're making all this noise, half naked and all, baring your chest, and you can't even work a chainsaw. But then again, it's like, okay. I don't want to throw out the woman card, but at the end, but it's like this is why you need a man. This is why you should have had a man with you, really, because it's like at least at least if the man was there, he could possibly help you work the chainsaw. If you were trying to destroy, if that was your goal, unless you were just trying to make marks on it, then fine. But which seemed like what they were doing, but I don't know what they were trying to do. What they were trying to do with that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just come in the room? Because I want to go. Let's go do something. All right, but anyways, yeah, it's like they didn't really know how to work the chainsaw. I got the tech.
Yeah, that's just embarrassing.
It is.
Sadly.
It is. And in some other news, Caitlin Clark apologizes for her white privilege after being named Athlete of the Year by Time. And I'll say this.
Don't apologize for the race that you are.
Exactly. It's like it's the race that you were born. It's like it's honestly really stupid. Don't apologize.
She did not have a choice of which race she was born into.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know if her handlers told her to do that or, whatever, but don't apologize for being white or any race, really. That's just dumb.
It wasn't her choice.
It really wasn't. But, yeah, is there anything else? Or is that us?
I think that's us.
All right. Peace.